Motel Hell. No one will be admitted after the guests check in.
What's going on, all you wild farmers and ghouls out there? Logan Myerz back here for 31 Days of Horror. Tonight I'm going to be talking about Motel Hell. I just picked this up at Best Buy on Steelbook. I was going to do an unboxing video, but just decided to watch it. It's been a long time since I've seen this, and I thought it'd be fun to talk about this for 31 Days of Horror because it's very horrific. Woo! Set up of the film, we had the famous Rory Calhoun, famous actor back in the day. He was in like over 100 movies. He's playing Farmer Vincent. He's known for his smoked meat. It's really delicious. And he basically runs a motel slash slaughterhouse where he makes all his smoked meat for the townspeople, and everybody knows him for this. And he lives with his sister Ida, that's played by Nancy Parsons. Huge fan of hers. I love her. One of the best roles in this movie, and she's such a great actress, and she does a lot of really goofy and crazy things in this movie, but I'll always know her for Porky's in that infamous scene in the shower and her pulling the guy's dick through the hole. But I'll always remember her from that movie and Motel Hell. Really great actress, really great performance in this movie. So they play the cliche kind of hillbilly backwoods brother and sister. They wear the overalls. She has like pigtails. He's got the cowboy hat on. And it has that American Gothic feel to it. If you guys know what I'm talking about, that famous painting from back in the day with the farmers. He has a pitchfork in their house in the background. That's what it kind of feels like. We find out more about what they're really kind of doing at this place. So basically they're kidnapping these people, keeping them alive, and using them to make their special famous smoked meat. And we find out more about that. All the meat that they've been providing to the community for like 30 plus years is human meat. So they've been smoking humans. That's why there's no preservatives. And it has a unique taste to it compared to everybody else that's doing the same thing. And in the film, they capture a few people, one being the character Terry. She's like the young hot blonde in the movie, or supposed to be. And, they take a liking to her. They take care of her. They're like taking her throughout the farm where they live and, setting up different scenes in the film. But they kind of keep her around, and we find out later that her and Vincent are in love and they're going to get married. The ending part of the film, which is kind of weird since he's a lot older, she's younger. But, in the movie it works. And we're introduced to other characters. There's like the cliche town cop, like small town cop, kind of an idiot, shows up at the house, and he doesn't like Vincent and Ida. He knows that there's something off about them. He knows they're crazy. So throughout the film, he's trying to figure out a way to prove to everybody that these people are sinister and doing bad things. It leads to the third and final act of the film between the cop and Vincent, which is really, really well done. But throughout the film, we really get to find out how sinister and comedic these people are. It's really funny. Like I was saying, Nancy Parsons, she's really intimidating and sinister, but also very childlike at times and very comedic. So there's like the balance of like horror meets a dark comedy, because there's a lot of funny scenes in this movie between her and Vincent, her brother. I thought they were really great together. They seem like an old married couple instead of a brother and sister, but they had really great scenes in this movie together, a lot of great comedic scenes, and they really had great chemistry. I love their characters, and they're obviously the best characters in the movie. So throughout the film, you actually get to see what they're doing to these people. I'm not going to spoil too much, especially if you've not seen this, but there's their special garden where they bury people, and that's their heads, and they take off the burlap sack. They really do some fucked up and twisted things to these people. It's just like their heads. So they're basically using all these people, smoking the meat and selling it. So it's kind of fucked up. But there's, again, a few scenes in this special garden where you get to see Vincent and Ida and how dark these people get. So Motel Hell has a really great atmosphere. I like the overall tone of the film. It's very dark at times, but it also has the comedic scenes, has that southern kind of vibe to it, backwoods vibe, even though it looked like it was filmed in California. Like the background, it looked like there was mountains and things like that. But it definitely had that southern feel. A lot of people compare this to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I can kind of see the similarities. What happens when they put on the pig head and they have a chainsaw and things like that, killing people. Obviously cannibalism, which is very similar to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I thought it stood on its own in terms of the performances. I thought it was pretty unique and definitely one of the better horror films of 1980. But leading up until the third and final act, which is absolutely fabulous, I love the ending of this movie. There's a big chainsaw duel between Vincent when he puts on the pig's head. He has the overalls, and he's all laughing like a maniac for like 5 minutes. He's basically trying to kill the cop that showed up at their house and finally figure out what they've been up to all along. and how they're killing people and smoking the meat. So it's an awesome duel at the very end, really great fight scene, really intense, and again, Farmer Vincent just laughing the whole time. It's really freaky seeing this pig's head. I also like how it ended and how the film ended. I thought it was really great and a really fun time. So revisiting Motel Hell the first time in a long time, I had an absolute blast with this movie. I bought it on Steelbook. I saw it at Best Buy. I remember liking it when I was a kid, so I'm going to revisit it. I'm sure glad I bought this because it was an absolute blast. I like the commentary, the making of the movie, and everything that's on the Shout Factory Blu-ray Steelbook. I loved Rory Calhoun and Nancy Parsons. Really great chemistry on screen. They really fed off one another. And they really did great on screen together. Rory being a old school actor and then Nancy Parsons being younger. It really worked. It was very cohesive and natural for them, and they really pulled off these performances. Definitely the best performances in the film. I like the young actress that played Terry and kind of showed up and fell in love with Vincent and seeing what happened to her character, and the mumbling cliche cop that shows up along the way as well. He was pretty fun, especially at the end of the film. With that being said, the director Kevin Conner did a really great job with this film. Definitely one of the classics of the 1980s, especially the year 1980. I love the camera work. I love the music in this movie. I love the old hillbilly backwoods atmosphere that it built in this movie. Had the American Gothic feel to it, about two farmers in the overalls that are doing some really sinister and fucked up things. And all across the board, just a really fun movie, and a movie I highly recommend watching during the Halloween season. So overall, I'm giving Motel Hell from 1980 a 4 out of 5 pig's head hair pieces. So what did you guys think of Motel Hell? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What did you guys think of the performances of those two crazy farmers? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out from Farmer Vincent's Secret Garden. Until the next horror movie review for 31 Days of Horror. Cheers!